Hello and welcome to episode 9 of UK NBA. This is part 2 where we're looking at the lessons of Christmas. And I don't mean the kind of lessons where you're returning your gifts that you don't want. I mean basketball lessons. And what did we learn over Christmas?
Well, we learned a lot over Christmas about different teams, and one of the teams that really stood out over Christmas and before Christmas had a great run, that's the Atlanta Hawks.
They really did.
We mentioned in the last part they're up for sale and franchise, but certainly a fantastic team, and we've started to learn, are they a genuine contender, Atlanta Hawks?
Well, they have to be a genuine contender, don't they? You have to put them up with the likes of OKC, the likes of the Mavericks and Spurs, etc., because they are a real heavyweight now in their conference and demonstrated that with the win over Miami. I hate to keep mentioning it, but it's just an example of their quality and their talent.
But I think you see some of their wins over the holidays. I think they were the first team to beat the Trailblazers from the East this season. Look at that, winning in Dallas. You know, they went at home to the Clippers and won.
Not an easy feat, winning by 3 points.
Yeah, sensational wins over the holidays. Had a fantastic run, and I think it's just showing the fans now how good they are. They've got their own big three in Jeff Teague, Al Horford, and Paul Millsap.
And if they stay healthy and fit,
they've got a massive chance.
They've got a massive chance, because we know Al Horford's been struggling with injuries this
season as well,
and getting into a bit of this season as well. So it's important that he maintains his fitness, and he'll be a key player to their chances of winning the NBA. But they're not my pick. I'm sure we'll go on to that.
No, it's
a
a
bit
tough
later.
one for them, but I'm still surprised how many people are kind of leaving about the conversation when they talk about the East, going on about the Raptors, the Bulls, and the Wizards, and yet leaving out the Hawks. Which for me at the moment, the Hawks are the best team out of them.
You definitely can't disregard them from the conversation, which is quite surprising. That you're talking about who's going to win the NBA, they have to be in there. I would say more so than our teams, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, certainly.
Because the Cavaliers and the Heat, if you'd have said at the start of the season, you'd put them two up there. You slumped a bit, but the teams, those kind of teams, are there to take over.
Yeah, I think it's a three-horse race in the East at the moment. You've got the Hawks, the Bulls, and the Raptors. Personally, my only picks to take the championship right now. Maybe the Hawks and the Bulls are just that step ahead of the Raptors. And to sum it up, the Hawks are top of the East now. They've overtaken the Raptors, so the Bulls overtaken the Raptors as well. That all happened over the weekend, so it just shows how quickly it can change.
Yeah, everything can change. The Spurs are looking unbeatable, aren't they? They're looking beatable rather.
And unbeatable at the same time.
Yeah, a bit of both, I was going to say. Because they I don't know whether you saw the Clippers game, but they were unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's an unbelievable game. But, they're very quite inconsistent, aren't they?
They've had a tough month, and they've had a few slip-ups in there. Against good teams, let us mention. They're not losing to lower down teams, but they've had some tough games. They've had some... Compared to last season, they've had more games than ever this year, where they've had to really dig down to get a win. Whereas last season they'd be blowing teams out by half time, it would be all over. Yeah,
but that's good for the sport though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great for the sport, maybe not so great for them. Tony Parker's been out for a lot of time now.
That's a problem. He's a fantastic player. I don't think they're not the favourites.
I don't think they're the favourites anymore.
I still think they can win it.
They can win it, yeah.
They still might win it. Yeah. I kind of hope they don't in a way, because I don't want the same team who won it last year to win it again, because it kind of is, but from a San Antonio Spurs fan's point of view, they've got a chance, definitely.
Yeah, certainly.
They've got the makeup for it, haven't they?
Yeah, they know how to win a championship. Obviously, they're on the worries, the likes of Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, are they going to be fit enough when it comes to playoff time, playing all these tough games? And as well, you've got to say the Western Conference is better than it's ever been. I've never seen it this good.
No, which is brilliant. They always say that one's the weakest conference of the two.
It's got so good over the last few years. I mean, since the last, 3 years, it's just improved. The Warriors, the Clippers, the Rockets have turned into real standout teams. And so have OKC as well. And I'm sure people know, probably like in the 50s and 60s, have seen better conferences than this, I'm sure. But as far as we're concerned, young fans, we've never seen a competitive conference like this before.
Oh, which is brilliant.
Absolutely sensational.
And we mentioned earlier, the Pistons have improved, funnily enough, without Josh Smith, who many people would have said losing him would really scupper their form, but it really hasn't.
I saw on NBA TV the difference between when they had Josh Smith and without Josh Smith, and it's out of this world.
It just frees him up a little bit, and I'm not saying he's a bad player, because I think we're doing a discredit to him by sort of. But some players don't fit certain teams, and I don't think he suited the Pistons. I think they're playing a lot more free. We saw that with their win against the Cavaliers.
I think you got to compare them to the Pistons. What they've got right now without Josh Smith is similar to what the Clippers have got. They've got brilliant point guard in Brandon Jennings, not quite near the same level as Chris Paul. And then you've got the centre Andre Drummond, power forward Greg Monroe. And that's similar to the combination of DeAndre Jordan, Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin's getting better every year.
Yeah, he's a superb player. If I could have one wish for the Cavaliers, it'd be to have him.
Oh, fantastic. I mean, every team in the league would like to play like him. But that's the similarities. And now, when you had Josh Smith, you had that other player, that small forward that wanted the ball. And that took away from what Brandon Jennings can do to help Drummond and Monroe in the paint. So post up.
Absolutely, sort of helping each other getting through the game and gelling together and playing well. Just not Josh Smith's.
Just didn't work.
Didn't work for the Pistons.
Too many of them kind of players.
That very similar players.
I think when you've got two good big players and a good point guard like Jennings and like Monroe and Drummond, I think you just don't need a ball hogging shooting guard or a ball hogging.
Absolutely
forward,
not.
Which is what Josh Smith was.
And what were the best games of the holiday season? Not mentioning the Christmas Day one. For me, it was the Clippers and the Spurs, because that was phenomenal.
Fantastic games. I saw the highlights of one that was last week. 137, 134 to OKC over the Suns in overtime. That was a fantastic game. I've seen some absolute classics. I mean, it's hard to name them all. Like... we mentioned a few with the Hawks, a few close games against the Western
the Grizzlies, Rockets was a good game, 117, 111.
Game,
that was a great game as well. The Suns and the Lakers game was decent as well, because that was the return of Kobe Bryant, because he missed 3 games previously.
Yes.
He came off the bench for that one. He only played 10 to 15 minutes. The coach was saying beforehand that he wouldn't be getting a regular game time under his belt. He came back against the Suns and really improved them. But the Suns, especially with Isaiah Thomas, really dominated that game.
I think all of the Spurs games I've enjoyed over the holidays. Great game there against the Grizzlies last week. Any of the Raptors Blazers game was another great game. We've seen so many. Again, the Spurs, that was a brilliant game.
The Pacers and the Heat was a brilliant game.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I did watch it, but I didn't enjoy it too much. Some fantastic games to say, and carried on right up until the weekend. That was a big surprise, wasn't it? Nuggets thrashing the Grizzlies.
Yeah, didn't see that one coming. But I was just mentioning Isaiah Thomas for the Suns. Did you know it was the 12th round draft pick?
It's fantastic how you get these lower.
Yeah, it's phenomenal, because I was thinking you've got a lower pick and you would expect that those players that have come down that kind of pecking order would be the weakest ones. He's one of the strongest players for them. Which is surprising as well, because his height is less than 6 foot. He's about 5'8", 5'9". It's absolutely phenomenal for a player.
That's
like
why
that.
He's been picked so low, and obviously it's just talent showing him through. It's just kind of his aggressiveness, his ability with the ball.
He's taking his form on that showed the Sacramento Kings over the 4 years that he played there. And really bringing that on now to the Phoenix Suns, which is great to see.
Yeah, he's been fantastic for them. And as you say, I think he's been a key player off the bench as well, which is
he rarely starts games, but it normally tends to come on towards the end of the first quarter or start of the second quarter.
Certainly,
but he's a very good player. And that is the end of part 2. Next up, it's question time. And how many can Pete get right this week? Find out next.
Might be tough.